Hey Jacek, Matthew here with freeprescriptionlenses.com, and with the help of my GoPro camera, I'm going to show you how I cut prescription lenses with anti-glare coating for your very own RayBan 5184 size 52. I will be demonstrating tonight on the 5139, which is the striped brown, but this should work for any color that you have. So let's go ahead and get started. Of course, I forgot. Let me trace your Wayfarer frame in my Italian Santanelli LE1000 patternless edger. The stylus is now tracing the shape of the right lens, and then it's going to scoot over and trace the shape of the left. Because here at freeprescriptionlenses.com, everyone loves a bargain and no one is disappointed with quality. You buy the frame and you get free clear single vision lenses. Now Jacek, the next frame you buy, you won't have to buy lenses only from me like you have been doing. You'll get free prescription lenses when you buy the frame. So let me pull up the shape of your frame there. I'm going to put in your pupillary distance. And then I'm going to select what type of lens we're cutting. It is polycarb, and because of the anti-glare coating, I'm going to cut it on the soft cycle, which just means a little bit slower than normal. And this is set for a Xyle frame, which is an old school name for plastic. So let's go ahead and begin. Your right eye reads -50 at 109. I'm going to spin the axis wheel of my Marco 101 lensometer to 109, which we're there. Put the power drum, actually let me calibrate it, make sure we're dead on, perfect. And set this at -50 for your right eye. Put your lens in and rotate it until the optical center is a dead center in focus. The sphere powers are perfect. Check your astigmatism, which is 2 steps. We're good there. I'm putting 2 red dots on there, which you can't see, so I'm going to darken those. I really need to get some more ink for my lensometer. And that is the right lens. Let's do the same thing for the left, which is 76. Let me spin the axis wheel to 76. And -1 it is. Rotate that till the sphere power comes in clearly. Optical center is dead center in the crosshairs of my scope. Put some dots on there. Use my pen to darken those dots. And put an L on there for left. Now I need to put a block on here while it's cutting. This is what's going to hold it in the lathe. So I'm going to put this block into my speedy blocker and pull the sticker off. It's got a double-sided sticker. The black side is the sticky side. I will stick that on one side, pull the tape away to reveal the other side, and I'm going to stick that down on the lens. And what you cannot see is I have crosshairs, if you will, a vertical meridian and a horizontal, and I'm getting your lens in there just perfect, lined up. If that was that dot that I have to center it on, that's why I'm using those dots to get it oriented just perfect, the vertical and the horizontal. So let me do that. And I'm going to explain what that anti-glare coating does in just a moment. But one of the side effects of it is that it's a hydrophobic lens, meaning that it hates water. So it's a little bit slippery. So I'm going to put another sticker on the back side while this is cutting, so that it cannot slip while it's in the lathe. Put it in the left side first, and then let's do the right. We always start with the right. Lead with the right. So I'm going to put your lens into the chuck and hit start. The first thing that's going to happen is these calipers are going to come down and trace the shape of your frame, that shape. It's going to trace the shape on the back side of the lens, which is the concave side of the lens closest to your eyelashes. Then it's going to scoot over and trace the convex side of the lens, which sits away from the face. The calipers all the while measuring the thickness of the lens to know exactly where to put the bevel. The actual cutting wheel is down here on the bottom on the left. It is like a heavy grit sandpaper, that lighter color wheel. This wheel in the center with that channel is what's going to put the bevel onto the lens so it stays inside the bevel of the frame. I will have to close the door as your polycarbonate prescription lenses touches down on the cutting wheel. But until then, I just want you to see that, then I'll close the door. Now, Jacek, your lenses are the polycarbonate lenses with anti-glare. Let me mark that on there before I forget. It is. Your lenses are 40% thinner and lighter weight than regular plastic. They are also unbreakable. They are bulletproof up to 22 caliber and have both UVA and UVB protection. We know what the sun's harmful rays can do to your skin from overexposure. Your eyes are actually 8 times more sensitive than your skin, so these are permanent sunscreen for your eyes. Actually, this whole process takes about 15 minutes. It's now 8:16 on Wednesday, April 23rd, 70 degrees in my hometown of Durham, North Carolina, at least according to my Samsung Gear watch. Now, that anti-glare coating that I spoke of, it's 3 features in one. I'm going to pull a lens without it. The first feature is that it eliminates glare, particularly driving at night in the rain, but especially from street lights, stoplights, computer screens to overhead fluorescent lights. It's a reflection-free lens, meaning that this lens on the right, you can see the reflection of the fluorescent lights in this one. So when someone's looking at you, they don't see their reflection in your glasses. It makes for much better eye contact. The other thing, the single reason almost everyone buys it, if someone takes a picture with the flash, you won't see the flash lit up in the lens. The third feature that I like, the practical side, is that it comes with the best scratch coating in the business, because that scratch coating has to prevent scratches on the best coating possible, which is the anti-glare coating. Now, your lens has moved over and it's actually starting to put the bevel onto the lens now. And if you notice, there is water running in the background. If I get a very high-tech device, I don't know what this is called, I've seen them in certain places, you can see water running in the background. In just a moment, water's going to kick in. There's little jets that are going to start spraying water onto the, oh, caught it, KGB-like reflexes. And that's it, it's just cleaning away any optical debris, which is a little bit of waste, because as soon as I take it out, I'm going to put more on there. So you've got the thinner, lighter weight lenses, unbreakable, bulletproof up to 22 caliber, has both UVA and UVB protection. And a lot of the reasons I use lenses that strong is that you're going to have to pop the lenses into your frame. I'm not going to be there. I cut these so that I am a licensed optician here in North Carolina, and I cut these so that any novice can able to insert them into their own frames without damaging the lens and without damaging their frame. My patients love to stand next to me while I'm cutting their prescription lenses, and they watch all of this. They stand right here and watch while I do this, but since you can't be in my lab tonight, I'm going to bring my lab to you. Now, what I've done, first things first, is dry your lens off so it's not slippery, but you still have a little bit of rough edges, so I want to use my handstone, which is completely flat. I can put my hand on it while it's running, and while it does get dusty, that's about it. So I'm going to put what's known as the safety bevel. I go around the outside of your lens, and you can see this white powdery substance that I'm scraping off the edge of your lens. I do this so much I've worn a V-shaped bevel into my thumbnail. Now, in order to, actually, I forgot my favorite part of the video. Once I scrape it all off of your lens, I collect it here on the counter, and I carefully wipe it on the floor. This is where I say, kids, stay in school. I went to school for years to learn how to wipe stuff on the floor. Stay in school so you can learn to make a mess like me. So, all right, to make sure this fits, I tuck it in at the outside corner, and then using my thumbs, this one's still alive, I press down at the nose. It's still a little rigid, it doesn't want to give, so I'm going to take it down 1/10 of a millimeter. I always start off a little bit large with the first lens. Once I get the size just right, I'll flip it over and cut the left. Now, the golden rule, you can always cut more off of a lens, you can never add back onto it. So I start a little bit large and work my way down. Now, it's bypassing the cutting wheel and going straight to the bevel wheel. And 1/10 of a millimeter, we know what an inch is. There is 2.54 centimeters and there's 25.4 millimeters in an inch. So a millimeter is the distance between my thumbnails. I'm going to take 1/10 of that off, going around the circumference of your lens until it snaps in perfectly. Back to the water cycle. A little optical bath there. Jacek, I appreciate this. This is the second pair of lenses you got for me. You've got numbers 3 and 4 on order for your Club Masters. I will cut those as soon as I have the frame in my hands, but I keep one of these in stock so I can ship lenses. Now, I'm wearing the 2132 New Wayfarer in color 6053, which is the blue crystal. which goes very well anytime I wear a blue shirt with white pinstripes. These are so close that I can actually even pop the lenses out of my frame, and whereas they will fit in yours, they're a little bit loose, but they will stay. But let me pop that back out, pop it into my frame so I can see what I'm doing. Use my cleaning cloth, of which you will be receiving one with instructions on how to care for your cleaning cloth. And if you buy a frame from me, you get instructions on how to care for the leather case that comes with your RayBans and the original RayBan cleaning cloth, so it will last you for years. No other internet seller does that, so I'm told. So again, back to the handstone, which I should have dried this lens off first so it's not slippery. Tooting my own horn, and I almost set myself up for failure. So I'm just going to scrape that off directly over the floor this time. Now to see if your lens fits, tuck it in at the outside corner. And Jacek, this is what you're going to need to do. In order to insert the lens, have the frame faced upright. Now I like to have the lens that I'm working on closest to me. I'm not trying to reach over the frame. I'm going to do it here. But while the frame is upright, I tuck it in at the outside corner first, which is closest to me. And then using my thumbs, press down at the nose. It snaps right in perfectly. So let's cut the left lens. Flip that over to the left and hit start. Just like before, the calipers are going to come down and trace the shape of your left lens onto this lens to make sure it's large enough to cut out. And it is. There's no way I can override this, but people like to watch this. As it goes round and round, as it goes round and round. I stare at this all day. Camera 1, camera 2, camera 1, camera 2. This edger does run $30,000. I recommend everyone go out and get one and then put it on your kitchen counter. Then you can cut lenses at home. You won't need me anymore. Fire up old cutting wheel. There we go. Spin, spin, spin. Once that touches down, I'm going to continue working on your right lens. And they're off. So this block is no longer needed. I'm going to pop this off. Pull this blue sticker off now that that's no longer needed. Put that there. Try everything off, and I'm going to keep that red dot on there for now because I want to measure the pupillary distance when we're done. But your right eye is minus 50 at 109. I'm going to spin that back around to 109. Where did it go? There we are. Put that in. I'm going to put it right in front of my viewfinder, that red dot. That is your optical center. It's going to be dead center in front of your pupil. I'm reading minus 50. 0 is plano, meaning nothing. Minus a quarter, minus 50, minus 75, 1. So I'm exactly halfway between 0 and 1. You have 2 steps of astigmatism correction. So I'm going to spin that to check, and now we're at minus 1 combined power. If someone owed you 50 cents and then they borrowed another 50 cents, it'd be a combined power of 1, which is what we're reading. And in fact, let me go ahead. These are protective foam sleeves that the invisible bifocals with transitions, anti-glare, polarized lenses that the multi-billion-dollar labs send them to me in. I'm going to recycle these. This is for a RayBan 5184, size 52, with an anti-reflective coating. And of course, they are RX prescription. Speaking of your prescription, your prescription reads minus 50 at 109. Your left eye is minus 1, minus 50 at 76. These first 2 numbers are the actual powers of your lens. The minus 50, everything is in quarter increments. The unit of measurement we use is called a diopter, spelled D-I-O-P-T-E-R. It's in quarter increments, 0.25, 0.50, 0.75, 1. So you need 2 steps of correction in your right eye. Without your glasses on, things are actually larger to you than they really are. So when you put your glasses on, it will minify, it will shrink these down. It's a minus lens. It's a divergent lens, so it'll make things smaller to get them to the correct size they really are. The sill, which is your astigmatism, and there is a stigma over the word astigmatism. It's no big deal. It's like a shape. Someone has straight hair, someone has curly hair. It's just a shape, referring to the shape of your eye. That second curvature is what makes everything fuzzy. So this first number gets everything in the correct size. The second number takes away the fuzzy edges. So 6s and 8s and letters P and F do not look alike. The 109 is that fine-tuned knob. If this straight line going across the top of this card was 0 to 180, with 90 and 270 being the vertical meridian, you're at 109. So speaking of 90, 0 to 180, you're about 109. That's where we turn that knob to make everything perfectly clear. Your left eye needs 4 steps of correction at -1, and then you have another 2 steps of astigmatism at 76. So we turn that knob, we would actually turn it to about right there. I'm guessing. I do a lot of guessing. All right, so let's take that out. I guess a lot, you know. I guess as much as the next guy. Of course, it's hard to tell. Who can say? I'm just guessing about that. Okay, so back to the handstone, back to the safety bevel. My wife hates it, sorry honey, when I drop this on the floor, so in her honor tonight only, I'm going to scrape everything up, and I'm going to take a very long walk over to the trash can. I normally don't do this very often because it takes me so long to go this far. I mean, who has time in the course of a busy day to walk that far to throw something away? That's why I just throw it on the floor. I mean, come on. Come on, honey. Okay, so, back to work. I'm going to tuck the left lens in at the outside corner. If you noticed, I was working on the frame that way. I'm rotating where it's closest to me. I'm going to tuck it in at the outside corner, then using my thumbs, press down at the nose. Ooh, it still doesn't want to give, so because it's a slightly stronger lens, I'm going to take it down another 1/10 of a millimeter so that it will pop in easily. And then I'll get everything wrapped up and sent to you. Now, 99% of all optical shops do free adjustments. So if your glasses ever feel loose or too tight or they sit crooked, just stop by your local optical shop. They'll be more than happy to adjust it for you for free. It only takes about 30 seconds for someone to adjust a pair of glasses. Like I said, 99% of the time it's free, so just make sure you ask when you walk in. If anyone has any questions about what I can and can't do, just email me at freeprescriptionlenses@gmail.com, or just click the Contact Me button on the website, and I'll be more than happy to get back in touch with you as quick as I can. So the water cycle has kicked in. It's making me thirsty watching this. Do I have any water? Yes, I do. It's making me hungry watching this. Do I have any leftover day-old powdered donuts from Easter? Yes, I do. You want one? Which one do you want? Oh man, when they had these on sale at the grocery store, they were left over from Easter. They just didn't say what Easter. I think it was from last year. They're a little on the chewy side, almost like beef jerky for a donut. It's something you usually don't say when you have to chew on a donut. Back to the safety bevel. But you know, I didn't let that stop me. This thing was full this morning when I got started. Now you see how many I have left. I will not be discouraged. Oh, the clown gets to laugh. All right, so again, back to work. Tuck it in at the outside corner, then using the thumbs. Look at that, it snaps in this time, so I'm going to take this block off. I can almost do that with the anti-glare coating because it makes it a little bit more slippery. Normally, I'd have to use this tool to pull it off. So I'm going to pull this sticker off. Again, I'm so strong, I can do this by hand. I'm going to dry everything off again. I do want to inspect. -1, -50 at 76. I'm going to spin the axis wheel back to 76 to make sure everything is oriented just perfectly. Put that in there. And I'm getting -1 in the red. The plus numbers are in black. -1 in red. 2 steps of astigmatism, so we're at -150, which is halfway between 1 and 2. Hopefully the GoPro camera will see that. Now let's check your pupillary distance of 67. When I put my PD stick up, I'm going to put the 0 on top of your right lens, even though it's on the left of the screen. We do everything backwards here. And then hopefully my GoPro camera is good enough to show you the 67 millimeters from the center of one pupil to the center of the other. So I'm going to pop these lenses out, get them cleaned up. And actually, let me give you one more reviewer course on how to mount your lenses. Dry everything off again. So when you receive these, you're going to take them out of the protective sleeves, so that you're about to see me put them in. You can take them out, tuck them in at the with the frame upright and working on the closest side, tuck it in at the outside corner, Using your thumbs, just press down at the nose. I rotate the frame around for the right lens, tuck it in at the outside corner. Using your thumbs, push down at the nose, and that is it. To take them out, I turn the frame downward. I grab the frame with my left hand. You're always going to push down with your thumbs at the nose, even when you're mounting them. Thumbs down at the nose, thumb push down at the nose, thumb pushing down at the nose. So, let me get these wrapped up. You will be receiving instructions on how to care for your cleaning cloth that I'm throwing in for free. I'm also including a photo request to have your picture on the website. When my patients come to pick up their glasses now, I ask to take their picture, and I have several digital picture frames in my office, each with hundreds, if not thousands of pictures on each one. And it's the same thing because I'm very much a people person. I miss out on this for just inspecting for blemishes, which there are none. I'm very much a people person, but I miss out on that, having to cut lenses online, so that's why I send a photo request for you to take a selfie of yourself and then email it back to me so I can put your picture on the website. It's just one way to help me identify with the smiling faces for the lenses I send out. So I do fold these over for twice the protection. Even though your lenses are unbreakable, I'm still going to send them in this pouch, and they're going to be wrapped up even more in a padded envelope when you receive them. Jacek,